Welcome to Nemo Manhwa Recap. The episode starts with a big scene on a battlefield. The marshals of the army are standing around, trying to figure out what's going on. There are dead warriors and martial saints all over the ground, proof of a huge fight. Suddenly, our main character, Luang, comes down from the sky and lands softly in front of them. Everyone stops talking and stares at him quietly. Luang looks at them with calm, peaceful eyes and says in a happy voice, "Can I go back to the Dragon Kingdom with you guys later?" He acts like he didn't just win a massive battle all by himself. The marshal of the Central District is super shocked. His eyes get big and he starts sweating a lot. With a shaky voice he says, "Of course." He's so excited because for 200 years, they've been waiting for someone as amazing as Luang to show up. To him, it's like winning a big prize after a long time of waiting. He even pulls out his phone, smiles, and asks Luang to stay in touch. While they're talking, a man in torn clothes walks up. It's Cumberland, and he's hurt from the fight. He puts his hand on his chest and looks serious. He tells Luang, "You're really strong, but if you take all the energy crystals, it could cause a huge disaster. It might even destroy the whole planet." He squeezes his fist, begging Luang to think about it. But Luang isn't scared. His eyes light up with excitement. He turns to Cumberland and says with a big smile, "That's my plan. I want the guide to come find me. Don't worry, I won't get anyone else involved." Then he turns away and keeps chatting with the marshals. Cumberland's jaw drops. He's scared and thinks Luang is crazy for wanting to face the guide, a super powerful being everyone's afraid of. He stands there, wondering what Luang is up to and if he's ready for what might happen. As Luang walks off with the marshals, the battlefield stays quiet. The martial saints from the Island of 1,000 Saints watch him go. They're amazed and a little afraid, like they're seeing a real god. Luang looks at the giant energy crystal. It's glowing brightly and thinks to himself. He knows taking all the crystals is something no one has ever done before. He wonders if anyone will ever be greater than him. A few hours later, it's getting dark. Luang gets to the island's airport and a fighter jet lands. He starts walking toward it, but then someone shouts his name. He turns around, curious, and sees Fiona. Her eyes are full of love and sadness as she walks up to him, holding her hands over her chest. She looks down nervously and says, "You never told me your real name." Luang smiles confidently and says, "My name doesn't matter. You should forget about me." Then he gets on the helicopter and adds, "I already have a fiancé." The helicopter takes off, and Fiona watches it fly away. Tears roll down her face as she realizes she might never see him again. She feels heartbroken, thinking she'll never find someone as strong and handsome as Luang. Her father, Cumberland, comes up and puts a hand on her shoulder. He says gently, "Luang is right. You two aren't meant to be together." But Fiona doesn't want to give up. She pushes her father's hand away, turns around, and walks off. Her eyes are shining with determination. She knows what she has to do, even if her dad doesn't agree. Cumberland reaches out to stop her, confused and surprised, but she keeps going. Back at the airport, the martial saints who lost to Luang talk to Cumberland. One with glasses looks sad and says, "Luang took all the energy crystals. What do we do now?" Another one, with a bump on his head, tries to smile, but can't. Cumberland looks at them, angry. He says, "There's nothing we can do. We have to wait for the great guide to come. Then Luang will learn what happens when you break the rules." He pictures the guide, a scary figure with 4 eyes, staring at Luang angrily. In his mind, Luang is finally afraid, feeling the pressure. The martial saints agree, hoping the guide will punish Luang. One of them smiles and says, "The guides are the strongest. They'll teach him a lesson." They all believe Luang will pay for what he did. At the same time, far away in the eastern sea, Military District, there's a big fancy mansion with pretty fountains. Inside, Luang's family is in the kitchen. His mom is making dough for dumplings, his dad is helping while smoking a cigarette, and his sister, King, is rubbing their mom's shoulders. Snowy, Luang's fiancée, comes in with a tray of tea. She sees them working hard and smiles. "You all look busy," she says. The mom and dad thank her for the tea. King stretches her arms and says, "Mom, why do we have to make dumplings? We could just get a chef. Theirs are tastier." The dad laughs and says, "No chef's dumplings are as good as your mom's. Her cooking is the best." The mom smiles and says, "It's not that big a deal. I just haven't cooked in a while and I want to practice. When Luang comes back, I want the food to be yummy." King rolls her eyes but then thinks about Luang. She looks at Snowy and asks, "When's Luang coming back? It's been over a year." Snowy puts the tea down and looks sad, not sure what to say. The mom squeezes her fist and says, "It's been so long since we talked to him. I miss him." Just then, Snowy's phone buzzes. She checks it, and her eyes get huge. Without a word, she runs out of the kitchen. King and the mom look at each other, confused, and follow her. They step outside into the garden and see Luang standing there in a marshal's uniform. Snowy runs to him and hugs him tight. "I've been waiting for you so long," she says, almost crying. Luang drops his jacket and hugs her back. He looks at his parents and says, "I'm back, Mom, Dad." The dad smiles big, and the mom starts crying. Happy tears, King wipes her own tears and jokes, "You took forever. Where's my gift?" That night, everyone goes inside. They make dumplings together. Luang helps too. They talk and laugh, happy to be together again. Luang listens to them, feeling calm. Even though he's super strong now, being home with his family feels right. After eating, Luang and Snowy go for a walk in the garden. The moon is bright, and the flowers look pretty. Luang looks into Snowy's eyes and says, "I remember when we met. It was this time of year." Snowy nods, and he hugs her. "In a few days, I'll take my parents back to Bay. Then I'll come to your house," he says. He blushes and adds, "We need to figure out our thing, too." Snowy blushes back, knowing he means their future together. Under the moonlight, surrounded by flowers, they share a sweet kiss. Meanwhile, in the military department's conference room, all the marshals and top officers are watching a video of Luang's battle. They're amazed at how strong he is and cheer for him. The marshal of the Central District stands up, hands behind his back, and speaks calmly. "Today is a day we'll never forget," he says. "For 200 years, we've wished for this, and now it's real. We've welcomed Luang, the god of the army, who's stronger than all the martial saints." He looks around and adds, "And he's given me a job, to teach body refinement techniques to the whole army." The other marshals are surprised. Their eyes get big and they start whispering. They wonder what these techniques are and why Luang wants them taught. It seems like he's planning something big, and this is just the start. Wow, what an episode. Luang is making huge moves and things are getting exciting. What do you think he's up to with the guide? Is he really ready to take on someone so powerful? And what about Fiona? Will she try to get Luang back, or is she planning something else? Also, those body refinement techniques sound cool. Maybe they'll make the army stronger or get them ready for a big fight. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. That's the end of episode 204. If you loved this recap, please hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome manhwa content. And hey, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Are you in New York, Tokyo, or maybe a small town somewhere else? I'd love to hear from you.